Welcome to Syntax at the ArtEZ Finals 2020. My name is Chef van Beers and I'm here with Charlotte and Iris from the fashion design department. Maybe you can introduce yourselves really fast and talk about
Yeah.
the name of your collection. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Charlotte, and our graduation. Well, actually, I'm part of the duo, and we're the first to ever graduate as a duo from ArtEZ, as of what we've been told. And our collection is called "Chasing Sheep is Best Left to Shepherds." And Iris.
And I'm Iris Röell, and I also graduated last month from fashion design.
Yes.
And art.
We're doing
We're
this
the two
over.
of-
We're doing this over Zoom because I'm here in Arnhem at the actual finals, and you two are in Berlin and
Brussels.
right, yeah,
We already split up.
yeah.
As
But
of
you,
last week.
Just to come back stronger, you know?
have you been in touch a lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
actually
far, huh?
it's quite hard to be apart.
Yeah, we're not used to it after being for 4 years living together and now we're being apart. But we've been calling practically every day
Right.
this week.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
guys are then the first two to ever graduate together. Did that impact your collection? Like we'll talk about the collection in a minute, but did did you have to do anything else? Like was there any conditions for graduating as a duo?
Well, I think in the beginning, when we proposed of working together as a duo on one collection, they weren't really skeptical, but they're just like thinking about how to grade us and everything. So that was more of an issue. But then after, I don't even know how, it didn't take that long that they didn't care anymore because they saw that the way we work is quite like we really build up on each other
Yeah.
in the work, and we can't really distinguish who did what.
Okay.
So like also the teachers, they say they can see both of us in the collection, and I think us as well. But then when it comes really down to saying like who did what, you can't really say. So also grading wise, we've gotten the same grades now
Yeah,
because
because
it
of
does make sense. Yeah.
yeah, because of course, leading up to your graduation collection and your 12 Deluxe, you always were individual students and did individual projects always. Was there
Yeah.
already like some overlap or some similar interest when you were working apart from each other the first years?
I think the first year it wasn't too similar. We still kind of went in our own directions, but I do think eventually I think we have the same taste. So that obviously helped with this collection.
I think the design wise, when it comes to like our designing methods and what the outcome is in the end, it can be quite different, I think. But then when it comes to taste and what we like, it's very similar.
Yeah.
So then also decision making is easier because we have the same kind of, I don't know, outlook on things or how we would want them to be.
Yeah,
So
so
that's
then
what I think.
so then you kind of end up with two people working in the same direction, but maybe
Yeah.
by different means or different.
Exactly. I think it's maybe with some different views on it, but then with the same kind of vision to work in the same direction, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so let's
And
talk
we like
about
what each other does, so
what did you
sorry.
say? No?
And I think we like what each other does, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I have like this short description of the collection you guys made somewhere, I think, in the spring before summer. So it talks about what inspired the collection, and you mentioned the concept revolves around the idea of female vanity and evil sisters originating from the Cinderella fairy tale adapted by the Grimm brothers in which we see the stepsisters as confident women who do and dress as they please, being vilified for being unrepentant and ungraspable by men. And then you also mention other women that you find inspiring who kind of broke the status quo, I think. Can you maybe talk a bit about about the concept? Like where it came from, how did you pull everything together?
I think the first initial starting point for us was our transition assignment. It's like an assignment that graduate fashion students need to do at the start of the year, where they produce like installation, which is usually the starting point of the research for the collection. And for us, we created this sort of imaginary dinner party with women that we would want to invite, and it was mostly like movie characters. And from that point, we kind of developed this story of these women that have been kind of seen as evil or as bad by the media or the general public society idea. And then obviously the stepsisters are a very good example of these women who we think are kind of like misunderstood, and we were kind of thinking of this archetype of the good fairy tale girl that does everything she's told, she does all the housework, she does everything, and then in the end she gets the prince. And it's this kind of very old idea of what women should be, and then we kind of reconfigured this idea of what women should be in society. It's very strong terms, but
no, but it makes sense. Yeah, it's like a reimagination.
Yeah,
and then I think, let's see, it says all the looks stem from different fairy tales and folklore, but that's what we talked about. And then it says another inspiration is the fashion of the early aughts, the Paris Hilton era, in which fashion was a mashup of different styles, more expressive and fun. Women were more hedonic and unapologetically sexy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the angle, or...
Yeah, so that was a perspective that we added in later on in our progress, kind of after our Toile de Luxe, because our Toile de Luxe was very historically orientated, because we did a lot of research looking at archive pieces and old historical costume, and then we kind of wanted to add in maybe a bit more modern perspective, and thinking of these women that we had initially researched, and in what way are they now more currently relevant.
Yeah. Although there's probably also a lot of things, because it's still a very relevant thing now in our scene. But then we did find that like the 2000 or like the 90s is more stronger in a fashion sense, I think, as well. Like there was really a lot more of these characters, and really I think the unapologetically sexy thing was very important, because we both thought that was like kind of the last time before, because now I think even if we would like to think that we are more open towards that, it still has closed up a bit more, and this kind of sexiness is not as visible as it used to be back then, I think, or not as okay. So we thought that, yeah,
it kind of also makes me think of like it girls versus influencers, where like, the people who are unapologetically sexy today are taking their own selfies, and like the Paris Hilton kind of it girl you're describing was photographed by the paparazzi, like she was basically ignoring the camera and not doing it herself. It also kind of resonates, this idea.
Felt more genuine in a way.
Yeah, different, because I think nowadays everyone is very aware
Yeah.
which I think can be then a bit, what do you say, like I think in the 90s and 2000 with Paris Hilton, you weren't as aware. So they were just like, okay, we're sexy now. If there's things wrong with it, they didn't care. And certain things, they just did it. And then now I think you have to, like, girls nowadays, they're more aware of what they put out there, especially also influencers, because there's so much that can spark conversations always. And I think back then, conversations wasn't a thing that would be too problematic, you know?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think also like because I think what Paris Hilton did was very smart of her and it was very set up. Only everyone fell for it. And like influencers these days, we already know it's set up by them and there's like intentions behind it.
Yeah, it's very careful and conscious too, because they know exactly what they want, but everyone also knows what they want. And Paris Hilton was a bit more exciting maybe in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course it's, you know, looking back, you can kind of nitpick the things you like about it, and it's of course a different perspective looking back on something that happened 15 years ago than looking around now. It's always different. So I think another thing you guys mentioned was the research process, because the two of you both did an internship in London. So even during the internship abroad, you guys weren't separated then. And I think you guys did you guys did some on-site research for your collection when you were there. Maybe you can talk a bit about that.
So the research we did was after the internship. It was during the fall break last year.
But I do think we got a lot of inspiration from our internship because because also where I interned, they also always went to museums and archives. And I think that's also where we got the idea from to also visit, because anyone can actually go visit these archives in London. And we decided to go to the V&A and the Royal Opera, because the Royal Opera was really for the costumes of the stepsisters.
Yeah, or other like female villain characters.
And I think Royal Opera was really nice because we got to see costumes, but also photographs, and it was quite interesting because they would open up the costumes and show the insides, and it was a very inspiring process because they wear these gloves and you can't like touch anything, and they're like,
wait, so how did it
you want to see the inside.
So how did this go? This is like an archive that anyone can visit, but you have to make an appointment and you get a special tour guide who takes you there, or?
Yeah, so for the Royal Opera House, we had to select some pieces that we wanted to see from the online archive. And the lady there was super open. She also told us that because there are two archive places. There's like the physical costume archive place, and then also the more photographic archive, which is then in central London. And she like told us to. She was super helpful, and but then we had to make a selection ourselves, and then she also made some of her own suggestions.
And you can't share pictures. It seems very top secret, everything. Yeah, but yeah, it was really nice, I think. And probably also it was more related to our story, I think, because it was really like the storytelling of the stepsisters, who were also, and the photographs as well were really great because we got to see that the stepsisters were played by men to look even more hideous, and they got like these nose, how do you say, prosthetic things to be like very ugly and repulsive. So, and she also told us a lot about the play, which I think was great. And then V&A, I think, was just for certain techniques that we were interested in.
Yeah.
A lot in textiles.
Yeah, and garment construction.
Yeah. Also for like dresses and everything, just to see how they did it up close as well for us, because it's all quite like, and actually we used a lot of the textiles and then repeated them always. And we tried to really do our best to like recreate them.
Right. So, like, because you could take pictures there as a reference, or?
Yeah, we could take pictures, but then, yeah, you're not allowed to show them, so they're just for your own private use.
Right.
But we took a lot of like up close pictures of everything. And yeah, we're like paparazzi. So, and then I think at home, yeah, we spent like, also because I think of quarantine and everything, we had a lot more time to develop these textiles, to look
Okay.
at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it something that you would? We can talk about future plans later in the episode, but is it something that you guys would like to do again? Like dive into an archive for inspiration and really go this deep in the research?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think both of us have quite a taste for like historical clothing, and I think or like antique clothing, and I think it's something that's quite important in our process. So I think that's definitely something that will.
Yeah, for sure. Because even if our clothes don't come out as too historic in that sense, because they don't look like anything we've really seen in the archive, but just for certain techniques, I think, and even then putting our own twist on it, it's really interesting to build it on something that people have done, you know, with great success. So you can learn so much from that.
Yeah, and I think it's also you gain a lot more from it than just seeing pictures or like magazine pictures from back in the days. I think seeing how it's really made and like the
inside or enclosures and everything, which is something you wouldn't really see on pictures.
Yeah, like you couldn't
really
capture it on a Pinterest board or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. I think it would be nice because as we're doing this video call, that actually allows us to, like this podcast will be released as audio first, but we're also live streaming it. So we thought it would be fun to maybe have a look at your collection because it's on your Instagram pages. So I'm going to do the screen share thing. Let's see the Brave browser. And then I'm going to go to our recording system and go to the other scene. Am I doing it right, Florian?
Yeah. It looks fine.
Okay, great. Cool. So now we're going to go to, I guess it's on both of your Instagram accounts?
I think maybe Iris, you have more, I think, actually. I'm not sure.
Cool. Then we're going to go to Iris's page. You're seeing this as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Which look shall we start with? I think it's chronological to some extent.
Yeah, so the topmost one is the first one in the lineup in a way.
Wait, this one?
No, if you scroll all the way up.
Oh, this is the first one.
Yeah, this would be the first one.
Okay, cool. Oh, there was actually something I wanted to ask about this. It says that you guys made this wedding coat out of your grandma's antique bed sheets.
Yeah.
How did how did that happen?
So my grandma's very good at keeping old stuff, and she has like a closet full of very, very old bed sheets from her great grandmother, and like among other things like nightgowns and napkins and everything. So, and she told me about these bed sheets when I was visiting her over summer. And they have like a really nice quality to them because they're like mostly linen.
Yeah.
And they also all have like the monogram embroidery from the family because
of your family.
Yeah, like of her, both sides of her family, I think. So they're all kind of different. And because these sheets were things that you would also travel with, I think. So it's just in case it gets lost in the laundry.
Yeah, and you were allowed to use those.
Yeah, because she has so many of them, and she always tells me like, yeah, if you use it for something good, go for it. And
it's a lot of fabric. I guess.
Yeah,
It's really
because they're massive.
Some we did have to patchwork though.
Yeah,
But even that is quite nice because you have to see how you can work with fabric that is only in special,
specific amount. Yeah.
specific amounts. And we also used curtains. Those are really nice.
What look is
Yeah.
that? Maybe we can check it out as well.
We
It's
have
the right next to your
pointing
mouse.
at it, but that
This
doesn't
one.
help.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for the people in just audio, the first one we saw was a wedding coat, so it was like a big wedding dress-like coat, and this one is like a small top and a big skirt, I guess. How would you describe this?
Yeah, we called it, what did we call it? It's the hoop skirt, I think. It's
Yeah.
a skirt that was meant to look like she doesn't have, like it's being held up.
Right,
in
yeah.
case she wants to walk through mud or anything. She wouldn't want it to get dirty, but also she doesn't want to hold it herself because she's maybe a bit lazy. So it's being held up for her. And yeah, the corset is out of an old curtain. And what I think it was also nice because of the monograms and also the curtains, because these monograms that were hand embroidered. And we kind of thought about what would be maybe a monogram now or like fitting to our concept, and that was kind of these tattoos that we had.
Yeah.
Like the idea of these more like trashy tattoos, like we even had like tramp stamps in the first ones that we then embroidered because it's the kind of same idea. But then, and we made these tattoos with our own initials and everything, so it's like our monograms are these
Right.
90s tattoos that are a bit trashy, kind of to mix it a bit for the concept, yeah.
Nice. If you have 1 second, I'm gonna ask Florian. Floor, zou de telefoon wat dichterbij kunnen? Want ik merk dat de verbinding wat crappy wordt. It's just the hotspot phone. The battery was dying, and now it's away. Okay, now it's fine. I think this will save us. Yeah, cool. All right. Is there another look we could maybe dive into that has a story to it, or?
I mean, they all kind of have their own story because we tried to build characters really.
Maybe just your favorites.
Oh, okay. Maybe, do you want to start, Irie? Or did we?
I can't. It's not the first time I've been asked which one is my favorite, and it's not the first time I'm like not able to answer. But I think maybe.
Or not you?
Yeah, I think for me maybe it'd be the green dress.
Yes, the.
Yeah.
So it's a metallic. I'm just trying to describe it. It's a metallic dress with like puff. It's I think quite puffy in general somehow.
Yeah.
And, like it has the big shoulders and it kind of has the thing at the neck that's also very classical. You guys can describe it better for our listeners.
Like a candy wrapper dress. Yeah.
We moulaged it with dresses that Charlotte has. And also a dress for my grandmother. So we kind of had this idea of this girl who wants to go to a party, but she doesn't know which one of her like dresses to wear. So she just ends up wearing them all in one. And so this dress is moulage from, I think, 4 different dresses. And
it has
so that's why.
3 extra dresses incorporated.
Yeah.
Oh right,
so,
that's like on the lower side. Those are like actual bags with other dresses in them.
So you can see there are like 2 sleeves, 2 puff sleeves. So that's the from the top. You can see that she's wearing two dresses, but then she also has the 2 skirts and the extra flap dress that's on top, and then underneath these skirts we stitched in some old petticoats to add more volume to it, and an extra whole dress actually that we also moulaged with. But you can kind of
the more dresses the better.
Yeah.
So it also has some vintage, like actual petticoats incorporated.
Yeah, So you can kind of see at the bottom of the skirts that like some lace trimming, and that comes from the skirts that
Yeah.
we added in.
Great.
Yes. And then there were actually bags from Dante.
Right. Yeah. Dante from the Bear, the fine art department.
Yeah, exactly. He made these takeaway bags that are like takeaway boxes, kind of, and they also have our tattoo idea on there. Just isn't because we really also like the idea of these girls having fun doing a night out,
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
some
Of
fries,
course.
just enjoying life.
Cool. Shall we talk about one more, maybe?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Which
guess.
one's
Well,
your
my
favorite?
favorite look is the devil coat. It's the one with the devil mask, the gray look.
Wait. Okay. Is it this one or?
No,
No.
although that's
Scent.
also a good look. It's this one.
Wait.
Stop.
This one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorite looks. It has similar sleeves to the devil coat. I think it's the same
to the
technique.
wedding coat.
So which is what we got from, I think it was the V&A archive
Yeah.
of covered buttons. So there's quite a few historical references in it. But then it also has the kind of like schoolgirl mini skirt vibe going with it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and it's very naked. But I just
But it kind of covers everything that's
It's
necessary.
supposed to cover everything you need to be
But it does
covered,
like in
you
a very unconditional way, right? It's not like a small top that goes horizontal or something. You guys made like this huge split that creates a really big naked area over the model's belly.
Yeah. So I think, that would be my favorite kind of. And then this devil mask, we actually got the idea of styling it with a devil mask from this. I think I saw on Instagram this girl who was at a party, and she just was. I think it was this picture of her after the party. She was squatting in front of a car, and then having this mask on, and her look was super cute and normal. And then she just had this devil mask. It wasn't Halloween or anything. And I was like, that's a nice accessory. And so we want to have things quite authentic with styling as well, where it's like, okay, this girl found this devil mask and she's just wearing it on her night out now. So
Yeah, it's also maybe kind of like a reference to like you guys visiting theater looks, right?
yeah, definitely. And also these girls being seen as evil and
Yeah, of course.
devilish when they're really not. So we thought that was quite fitting and
Yeah, I think it's
fun.
also very funny with this look that like the back sides looks very different than the front. Like on the back,
Yeah.
everything is covered and it has like this cute little bows, and then when she turns around, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a quite extreme maybe in that sense, I think. Which is, I really like that look.
And I think a lot of our collection, the front and the back, like we kind of play with that idea. With from the front, it could be a completely normal pair of pants, but then when you turn around, you can kind of see the butt crack.
Also, maybe we can. Yeah, I just wanted to show something where we have a lot of textiles, but
And the brown suit.
yeah, maybe the brown suit. We can just talk about that real quick because that has
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this one has a lot of textiles from the archive as well that we tried to recreate, which is like really classical. And then we just made it's actually a jacket that we turned the other way around, so it's worn the wrong way because we thought maybe she just wants to wear her jacket differently. And then pants, we have a lot of covered buttons but that you can open, so it's also, we're big fans of butts maybe.
Definitely.
Yeah, so
we thought covered buttons all the way in the bottom is quite chic, and then you just see how much you want to open them. Yeah.
And these pair of shorts are quite funny. If you walk, then as you step, you get a bit of a peekaboo effect from them.
Yeah, right. If
from
as
the
the leg is
butt cheek.
moving, yeah.
Yeah. And then also the front is very covered except for the shoulder blades, and then at the back it's like a corset lacing that's quite open, and and then you see depending on the buttons, also quite open.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go stop the screen sharing. Then I'm gonna go back to the recording to the other scene so we can see you again. And yeah, now we're back. Do you guys have any future plans? Maybe first of all, like, what's gonna happen with the collection you guys have now, and that's in the fashion film, as there was no show, of course, this year. And then maybe like after that, what are plans for after this collection has run its course? What's next for the two of you?
Well, I think right now we're busy with sending it to stylists and lending and borrowing, you know, these kind of things. So that's
Getting some exposure.
getting
Yeah.
exposure, yeah, especially because we only had the fashion film. But we even, was that last month when we went to Italy? Or was that, yeah.
That was in September.
On September, yeah. Times isn't really good at this
Yeah.
point anymore in my brain. But we also went to Italy and did a photo shoot, which hopefully will come out soon. And we also took a backstage film that we're editing right now. So we're still very much busy with this collection on giving it the attention that it should get, you know?
Yeah, that it
Just because
deserves.
we didn't have a show. So we tried to give it, yeah. And also I think with this whole process really being stretched out, a lot of people from like also our classmates, they weren't really feeling their collection anymore, and everyone's like, oh, we just want it to be over. But then I think it's important that everyone still gives it the attention that it deserves, because it's a graduation collection, so we should still appreciate it as it should be if Corona wouldn't happen. But then I think afterwards we're both planning to move to Paris to reunite again, and
Under the Eiffel Tower.
under the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, because the end plan is that we start something together. So we have a lot of organizing and preparing to do for that to happen. Yeah,
Some research, some
we need
administrative
to name
tasks.
our child, which is difficult, but we've learned not to tell people, too many, especially family members, what to name it. There's not too many negativity. No, it's fine. But like, there's a lot of things that we need to, work on before we can put it out there. So that's what we're dealing with.
And during this time, we're thinking of just trying to find a way of financing this, getting a more stable in that sense after being a student. And
also business wise, because that's not something that we are trained in or anything. So there's a lot of things to consider that we need to get together.
Yeah, but I think it's fun that you guys seem to want to keep doing your own like self-initiated projects. Like I get the feeling.
I think also because of that, I actually think there is a lot of good outcome from having this year so stretched out, because you have a lot of things to think about. And because originally we wanted to do masters together as a duo, which is also why we actually did our BA collection together. But then now we've been thinking that we feel ready kind of to just start something.
Yeah.
So we're holding on to that.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's quite nice also because now that we've worked so long on it, it's really nice to have this new vision of what we're going to do.
I think in that sense, your graduation was very successful in that you had some extra time, or I don't know, you had, like, of course you couldn't go to the workshops, and you had a lot of limitations, but also I do get the feeling that the two of you have a really strong mutual vision for.
And also I think because you really just have like other students as well, that you just have yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then us, we just have each other, because there's not too much influence coming from teachers or other students during this time, because you were just working at home. So I think also generally speaking, everyone's collection is really their ultimate self, kind of, or like
Yeah.
what they would do. And I think that's the same with us, that we've tried, like we spent so much time together on this collection without any other influence from the outside, really. That we have like more of an understanding of how we work or feel, so that I think doing something bigger together, or like more, not that this isn't serious, but if you launch a brand or start on that, that's a lot more serious. But I feel like because we had so much time to understand and work together, it seems more possible, or more of a
Yeah, yeah. I
we-
think during this Corona period, we did learn a lot from like ourselves, and also working wise. I think it became a lot more like from yourself,
yeah.
and you need to kind of make decisions on the spot. And some things we did, like in our kitchen at 11, and we were like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Because you just have to make all these decisions for yourself. And I think that can only be helpful for our future planning, because then we're really gonna be also by ourselves.
Yeah, of
And
course.
now we kind of practice that a bit already, being on our own 4 feet. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm seeing that our Zoom call is coming to an end, and I think we mostly covered everything, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So thanks so much for calling in. Have fun at your romantic rendezvous in Paris anytime soon,
Thank you.
and good luck with any future plans.
Yes,
Well, thank
Yeah.
you, and thanks for having us on
Yeah,
the
Our pleasure. Yeah, and I hope to see more of the two of you in the future.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
fingers crossed.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Bye.